Hello and welcome, my legendary leaves. Yes, I did forget to put the thingy on. Okay, let's get into this. But before this, if the stream cuts off, it might be because of this. Apparently, we have tornadoes in Germany now, which is worrisome. Well, they're more in middle Germany and northern Germany, and I'm in southern Germany, so might not be a problem here, but yeah. Okay, first off, before we start side questing here, have a little bit of a tip for you. Now, let's give an example. See, like, this is perfect. Geodude. You have to catch 25 of it, right? That's not that bad. That's quite easy. But you also have to catch 5 heavy ones. This, if you get unlucky, or well, no, not if you get unlucky. If you get lucky, you get those easily, but normally, I don't know, you don't catch that many heavy specimens. But take one, you have to catch at least one heavy one, and then get a handy friend. If you have a friend, I hope you have friends, that also have the game, that might be the tricky part here, and just trade that over to them. And then trade back. This will actually count as a new caught Pokemon, as well as a new caught heavy Pokemon as well. So you can trade back and forth to fill up the catching stuff in your Pokedex. It works. I did this with my wife earlier today. And we did this a number of times because some Pokemon really are kind of hard to catch the heavy ones for. So yeah, that was the little hint for you today, and I hope it helps you. Okay, we're gonna do side questies. Let's see what we have. We have something new here. No, it's on the prof's board. There's some requests posted on the blackboard. Mushroom hunting with Swinub. It seems moral. The mushroom hunter needs a helping hand. Or knows. Make use of Swinub's special skills and fulfill his request. Activate that, because I have no idea where he lives. I mean, here's the thing. When you design a city like this, you basically have to make a choice. This, I think, is a pretty realistic looking city with, well, you have the big city hall, basically. I think you can call this a city hall. Stuff like shops. And then you have the houses for, well, the general public. And they all look the same, which in reality is kind of the thing. Houses tend to look samey, at least. However, you see these houses, and I just realized they're actually color-coded. Didn't know that, but that won't help that much. So which one of these houses belongs to the mushroom guy? You could also design the city like having a mushroom sign at his house to show that he lives there, right? That would make it easier to navigate, but wouldn't look as realistic. Sure, there are nameplates on each house. But can you read this writing? Wait, is this actually Japanese? No. Wait, I'm confused. This isn't... Wait, huh? Some of those things are actual kanji. Which I can't read, okay, but that's not the normal writing of this world. Strange. Oh well. So, where to go? Oh, in the Alabaster Islands. So we have to go there first. Which is fine because before we dive right into it, have to catch one little thing more. Also, can we actually evolve Glaciant? We can already evolve Glaciant. So we're gonna do the photograph as well. And no new clothes because this is the Glaciant photo, which we said last time that we will keep the clothes on, right? Ah, didn't work out. Do it! Glaciant, evolve! Into a giant thing. Drifting ice. Is that what it's called? You know what I'm talking about. So how big are you actually? Let's have a look. That is not as big as I would have thought it will be. Oh well. Let's speak to it. Now it's happy. I would like to ride on it actually. What?
Ice flow.
Ice flow.
Yeah, Floe.
Never heard that actually. Oh well. So, Mr. Photographer, change the screen. I would like, actually, we have never used the, I think we have used them all. Let's go with gray. I don't know, I feel like gray. Like a harsh winter color. Prepare a Pokémon. Glaciant. Select it. And then shoot here. Is it actually allowing this? Oh, Pokemon. It's acting normally now. Look fierce. Okay. Look happy. That doesn't look very happy. Sleepy? I don't like the position its head is in with this. That feels uncomfortable. Act dizzy. Okay, and pretend to faint. I think fierce will be okay. Change our pose. Arms open high. Should we do this or shouldn't I? I think it doesn't work out quite well standing in it. So we have the possibility of sitting. This looks good. Angry? Nah, serious. Vacant thinking. This, I like this. I like this. Start shooting. Okay, right timing. Bam! We have it. Yes, we're gonna stop. Okay, we have a photograph. So let's get into the frosty, icy lands, which is nice because it's so hot here right now. I don't know how hot it is where you are, but it's extremely hot. It's like a number of degrees Celsius.
25 in here.
It's only 25?
Yes. It's 32 or something outside.
Well, I'll try to die on stream in that case, so you at least can see that. Because I won't survive this summer. I can't stand the heat. Just can't. Okay. Let's get a little birdie. Because we're gonna evolve that one as well. Because the next thing we will face is the big birdie. Well, we don't really face it. You don't have to fight it, but you know what I mean. Yes?
That team does not fit what you're talking about right now.
What?
There's no birdie in your team.
Yeah, it fits what I'm talking about because I just said we're gonna catch our little birdie.
Oh. Catch. Not evolve.
Yes, catch and then evolve. Because the next thing will be the big birdie.
My head said evolve. So.
Huh. Heads do that sometimes. So, okay. Did I just mix so and okay? So okay. I mean, why not?
What's it called in English?
What?
Birdie.
The birdie braviary or the little one?
The little one.
It's not Geronimats.
Yeah, that's my problem.
Rowlet is
That's a different game.
is a different. I think it's similar though. Quality still fine? I mean, should be, but
That's fine.
just to make sure. What attacks do you have actually? Moves.
Looks like the cam is a bit jumpy sometimes.
Huh. Okay, Ice Ball good. Double Edge, no thanks. Earth Power, that's good. Wait, Mountain Gale?
Hi.
Wait, can you check me something when you finished with
Rufflet.
Rufflet? So the lad was right. What is the... How do you say it? The attack Everlark learns after evolving, basically.
After evolving.
Yes.
Not the one for evolving.
No. Because I'm not sure if I should do Mountain Gale or Ice Ball. I just like to use the moves that fit the Pokemon, you know. Also, I like a varied moveset. When I was a child, I always had like my Charizard only had fire type moves. Because it was fire type. I completely ignored the flying type even. I didn't like that. Nowadays I like giving it step moves. There has to be at least one step move for each type it has. But I also like variety because, well, it's useful. It's just useful. Probably learns it upon evolving or something.
Let me find
Yes.
the PLA data. No PLA data?
You're an Everlock.
Yes, I am. Here, this one.
Yeah. I mean, it might say it in the intro text as well.
This is strange. They changed the layout here. No. Does not
No.
say it in the intro text.
Then look up Mountain Gale, please. That might help us. I think it might be Mountain Gale.
I found it.
Ah, okay.
Rock Slide.
No, Rock Slide is that.
Rock Slide is on evolution, according to this.
It might learn it at a level though.
Power Snow, Ice Shot, Bite, Iron Defense, Crunch, Earth Power, Mountain Gale, Blizzard, and Double Edge.
Okay, Ice Ball isn't in there.
No.
Then it is Mountain Gale, the attack specifically for Everlock. I forgot what you call those. Only 5 PP. I hate the AP and PP stuff. Because AP is what it is in German, and it's basically attack points. Which would make sense. Because, you know, if you don't call those attacks but moves, PP still doesn't make sense. That would still be MP. So yeah. Sliding Roku. Okay, Snow Run down. Okay. Birdie. Why am I not riding? That's faster. Riding tends to be faster than walking. That's why horses were invented, right? Can the camera please stay where I position it? Gosh, dibbit. Pop.
I guess your tweet really was telling.
What?
The stream schedule tweet.
Or that I'm streaming?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm streaming. This is the mon we want. A bit of hard to catch one. Seriously, these balls are made for distant catching. So why is the distance so little that you can actually catch a Pokemon in? That is so stupid. Why is there even... Why is distance even a thing, right? It should just, if it get hit by ball work. Well, except if it's angry at you, and that makes sense, because it kind of basically defends itself. But, you know, okay. Here's one thing I wanted to try, but I think I give that up right away. I was thinking if you could trick the game and somehow get your way up there without Birdie. But there is no way this could work. No, no, no. Never. So, I'm not bothered trying with that. Okay. We have to... Yeah, that's fine. Then let's go there. There's a quest waiting for us. Sure, we're gonna do the swim up first, but... If you catch a female swim up, is it a swim up girl? Alright, there is no... Oh, there's no base here right now, right. Well, let's do this. I came to set up another base camp, but I don't spy Crack from the construction corps. I told him to meet me near the base of the forts here in Alabaster Island, so where is he? He's not the type to usually get lost, so I'm honestly a bit worried. Do me a favor? Would you find Crack for me? Okay, let's make this active. So this guy wants Crack.
Maybe you should call him Craig.
Craig.
Not Craig.
I think that's how you pronounce that name. Whoops. This cave is so... There's a little event happening here, but still it's pretty... There could be more in here. Just saying. Also, we got a wisp. Whisper, whisper. Let's mark that right away. So where was Craig? Damn it. Would it even make sense to say it's pronounced Craig? Is there another word like this? I mean, there's Wrath, which would be like more like Craig than Craig. It's not Wraith. So where was he, actually? Wait, where did you say you wanted to meet him? Base of the Falls. Oh, Base of the Falls. Yes, I know. Because there's another pair of falls here. Up there is also unknown, which we will also get right away. So is he around here somewhere? Does not seem like it. Am I mistaken here? It's been a while since I did this quest. Hey! Okay, he's also not here, so... This does not seem to be it. But while we are already here... Wait, was that a... No, that's wood. Let's climb up here. Ha! You can't reach me here. It's like I'm a flying type. I mean, I would say a flying type that's just flying because it can jump high would be strange. But then, on the other hand, we do have flying types that can't fly. Like Doduo. Or, if you don't want to do that obvious thing, there's also a Mulga, which can't fly. Gliding is not flying, right? Okay, we got it.
Both of them can learn fly, I think?
Can a Mulga learn fly?
Yeah.
You used one, not me.
I don't remember using a different flying type.
Do you even remember what you used in Gen 5? Except Ordino and...
I think.
yes, you had a Growlithe. Definitely. You had a Growlithe. I remember you...
I
had
had
a-
it and it came up in the anime, I think, then.
Might be, but I remember that it was a bit slow, so... You did something you never do. You IV trained it
Yeah.
for speed. And you did that by going into the sewers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't remember if that was Black 1 or Black 2 where you did that. One of those, definitely. But what else did you have on your team?
So.
It had to be 2. You can't get Growlithe in Black 1.
Yeah.
So it wasn't 2. So, question remains. What except, besides Growlithe, not Growlithe, Emolga and Thingy did you have? Huh. I mean, if you want to look that up, but... Well, look that up. Look at the
How do I look
Pokemon
up,
list.
No.
What you
That
would have
is
put
not
into your
possible.
team. You probably had your starter, but can you even remember which you picked? I mean,
What was that?
with the starters given, I would say Oshawott.
Yeah.
Because Snivy... No, Tepic is kind of cute.
Yeah, but
And...
I was most okay with Oshawott's last evolution.
And you kind of like the fire element as well, right?
Yeah.
In general.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, I think Oshawott. Which you didn't pick in Legends Arceus. You did pick Rowlet here, right?
I did.
Question though. Was that because you generally think it's cuter? Or did you think it was cuter because of the anime?
I like it. Its roundness.
Like its roundness.
Yes. And I've evolved it. So far.
So far, not, yeah. But that's what you generally do. You basically do not baby runs, but
Yeah.
small runs.
Because they all get ugly.
What about Licky Licky though? The evolution to Lickitung, huh? Isn't that cute?
No.
I mean, I love how it in the manga uses hair.
That stupid on its head.
You have a problem with that?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't like that.
Yeah, but I wanted to say, in the manga, it uses its tongue. The main character has one, and it uses its tongue like a what do you call it? A hook shot, I think. Like, it grabs onto things and swings with it, like what you can do in Zelda. Okay, I think you have. Yes.
Zuru is able to learn fly.
Dodo, yes, definitely. Emolga, though. Also, you have to look up where I can find Craig. Maybe. I just have an inkling on Craig's list. Does that even exist over here? I have no idea.
Why isn't it sorted by number? Okay, it can't.
Shall we catch Lucario?
Fly.
It can't.
Then I must have had something else.
What is cute that can fly in that gen? Probably not the Route 1 bird.
Which one was it?
And it can't be something old. Not for that gen. Damn it.
They don't link to the Pokédex on the gen side.
Yeah, I hate that as well. It makes researching stuff like this when you look up something for the gen and as well some Pokemon from it. It's kinda annoying. I mean, Bulbapedia is one of the best sources, but yeah. We have a Lucario! Let's go!
Black and white.
Yes. Ouch, that was a bit too much. Didn't mean to jump that far down. I hate this point in the game, this place. Because, look, you cannot walk there. But, I mean, just put a mountain here, right? Just make a big mountainous wall. Sure, you can climb on the mountain and run also in an invisible wall, but I'm more okay with that than this. Okay. Oh, let's get a Riolu over here.
The ice bear.
The ice bear?
That's one I had.
The ice bear?
Ice bear.
What ice bear?
Capture.
Wait, wasn't that Gen 6?
Five.
Is that Gen 5? Wasn't that 6?
Gen 5.
Okay. You had that actually.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
It's a bear.
And it's
Cute.
icy, which
And
doesn't
I didn't evolve it.
say anything. Yeah. You know, the thing about Beartic is it doesn't look that bad actually. Except that stupid beard. Which I love as a design standpoint. Yeah, the idea is good. The idea is good. I have to give it that, but it just doesn't look good. Like all beards. No, just kidding. There are people who can wear beards and there are people who can't. I don't like myself with a beard because my beard growth is spotty at best. I couldn't even grow a decent beard, so yeah, also I don't like it. I don't like the feeling of hairs there. Okay, so what about Craig? Ah!
That one we still need to look up.
People will say strange things if I don't stop saying Craig.
I either used Swanna or nothing.
Swanna or nothing.
I remember I had one game where I didn't use fly at all. Because I hated all of the birds.
Which is problematic in the old Pokemon games. And in the new ones is not problematic because you can fly without that. But yeah, I get that. I had the problem in technically in Gen 6 as well. I did not like any of those birds. Gladly though, my favorite dragon type so far could learn fly, so yeah, it was the first gen where I didn't use a birdie thingy. Because in Gen 4 I used Togekiss, which is not really a bird, but it kinda is. Yeah.
So, you should go back to where the guy with the quest was.
Okay.
And then look across the river towards the waterfall.
Didn't I do that?
I don't know.
Shiny.
It's not a
shiny snow
Sparkly.
pile. Sparkly, yeah.
Oh, that's sparkly. That's better than
It's...
calling it shiny.
I would call it shiny in German as well, I think. Over there.
No.
I even went there.
Next to a tree over there.
Over there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wasn't close enough. The draw distance in this game...
Sometime between updates reduced.
Yes, the thing is, I am defending the Pokemon games. They don't look as bad as people make them out to be. However, if there's something really bad, like the draw distance in this game is awful. It's really awful. It makes it hard. You should see more because it's a game about exploration and stuff. Things shouldn't pop in when you're close to them. You should be able to see them from above. I know the Switch isn't the most powerful system, but it can run games of a higher caliber than this, so it should have been possible. It really should have been possible, even on the Switch. One of the Survey Corps, aren't you? Well, this is fortuitous. Have you seen Bryce about? Bryce from the Supply Corps. He's the one who told me to meet him at the base of the falls. And yet he hasn't shown. He over there. Classical mistake. That nobody's getting bored of. What? You say he's on the other shore, across the river? I'm glad you came around, or I might have been waiting here till I turned into a block of ice. I'll hurry off to Bryce, then, so we can get that camp up and running in no time. Okay. Time to get Birdie in our team. It's cold as a Capchu snot out here. Ha, Capchu, they mention it. How do those Perclan people stand it? Wait, Capchu isn't in this game. That's cool. I would also, Pokemon Company, or Game Freak I should say, please plan ahead. Just let someone mention a few a few people mention a few Pokemon that aren't in the game or were never in the game, and have those be in later generations, like 1 or 2 in the next and the next after and stuff like that, to show that the world is already bigger than we know about, right? Know what I mean, right? That there are different things out there that we don't know yet because we weren't in those regions as of yet. Boy, do I owe you for finding Craig for me. Now we can finally get things set up. Yeah, that makes sense. Hello and welcome. This is Speech Impediment Streamer number 006. And here you have it, our newest base camp. Stop by anytime you need. I will. I think I used this base camp way more often than the other one. Goodness, I don't know how the Pokemon living in this frigid place find the energy to dash about as they do. It's called evolution, but not the evolution you know of. Do they have a nice layer of insulating fat, perhaps? Yes. That works. There must be some trick to it. Yes, give me Birdie. We need to evolve a Birdie. Where Birdie? The highest level one, which would be Gaga. When did that happen? Interesting. The last one we need to evolve. Except, well, we're aiming for a complete Pokédex after all, so yeah. It's so cold, I can't even feel my fingers. I can't work like this. I just want to earn my way up through the ranks. But to do that, I've got to at least warm myself up enough to feel my fingers. Do you think you could bring me a Pokemon that's good at manipulating flames? Then it could keep our fire roaring for me. Something specific? Catch a fire type Pokemon. At least it has to be a fire type, not something that can only that only needs to learn a fire type move. Right? So we have Mugby and Magmar. We can give him a shiny Ponyta. We have a Growlithe. I kind of like the idea.
Is that the special one?
Which one though?
I'm not sure.
We can check. We also had a Vulpix. I think this might be the special one. Check summary. Teresa Roca. This is the special one. Yeah, let's give him a Growlithe. Why not? Select. Yes. I'm already feeling much warmer thanks to this Pokemon of yours. Now I can focus on my work. Though, now that I'm so warm and comfortable, I seem to find my eyelids drooping. Just no, I wasn't sleeping, I swear. I don't mind you sleeping, to be honest. I don't care. Okay. Too bad you can't see the Growlithe now. That's a bummer. Clean out our inventory quickly. So let's have a check. What missions do we have? That we are doing right now. New wares yet again. We need sand radishes. Okay. Kirlia? We need a Kirlia. Okay, we can remember that. And Fieldlands, we have to go there. So only the Swinub right now. Also, let's search for the Satchel over there. And there it is. The Satchel was sent back to Annie. Would be fun if that would be Annie the duck. Which people have no idea what I'm talking about right now. Should I let it be that way or should I explain? It's not something that special. It's just a German streamer. I think she plays Pokemon. I have no idea actually. She is a cosplayer. I know that. I don't watch her really. Just sometimes. But yeah.
Mostly in collabs.
Mostly in collabs, yeah. She is entertaining. I just don't have the time to watch a lot of streamers. Glad to see you all the way out here. I've been waiting patiently with a request. What say you to a spot of mushroom hunting? In the snow! Dum dum dum! The Pearl Clan told me that the shrooms growing around Heart's Crag are quite the delicacy. And now we are at Crag again. But not the guy Crag, that should be pronounced Craig, but I always mispronounce it, but Crag like in a crack in a rock. I can't get rid of the crack. FBI, if you listen, I'm really not talking about something bad here. Really not. This is just a fun little game, fit for children as well, with a lot of crack in it. But these little gems are buried in the snow, and only a Swinub's nose can snuffle them out. Snuffle is a nice word. It's so cute. It's adorable. This is where your skills come in. Catch yourself a Swinub, take it out for foraging, and see if you can find those mushrooms. 3 would be great. Okay, we need a Swinub on our team then. I'll go get one. No need to change it out, change the team though. We'll do this quickly and change it back. I also don't know why I'm not teleporting. I also don't know why I'm not teleporting now that I said I also don't know why I'm not teleporting. And while I said it twice now, we are almost there and no sense in teleporting now. Maybe teleporting would have been faster after all. You know what? What would be fun? Now that I arrived at the camp, I'm gonna teleport to it. Why not? Okay. Mr. Galaxy member. They could have given him a name. Or at least, like, not Galaxy member, but something like, what core are we in? What was it called? Exploration core? Expedition. Something like that. They could have called him Exploration Assistant or something like that. Right? Yeah. I believe we have a there is one. And I name it. I named it like that. Why not? I might give this away to a viewer. I like the idea of giving Pokemon to viewers. I mean, to be completely honest, when we finished this game, I will never touch this save ever again, I think. So I would even be fine with giving you my team Pokemon. Swinub is making some noise. Is there something beneath the snow? Wow, you and Swinub snuffled this one out quick. I just knew you were the right person for the job. 2 mushrooms left now. Have Swinub accompany you around Heart's Crack and snuffle them out from under the snow. Oh, good that he says that. Also, pro tip, breathe in and then breathe out. You might have done that already, but I should explain it anyway, because you know after a second you might have forgotten that, right? Seriously though, why is he explaining that? After we just did it. There's no point in this. And yes, it is making me angry, because from a game designer standpoint, this is just completely unnecessary. It's just one line of text. Granted, sure, it's not that much of an issue technically. But, right? It's so, no, I don't need that. I already did it. It's like you finish a game, beat the last boss, and then you get a tutorial of how to play the game, which you just finished. You don't need it at that point anymore. I don't think that's a mushroom. But I do think that a mushroom version of it as a regional form could work. You know, instead of the little spiky things up there, it could be a mushroom head. Right? Oh no, Swin is dead. But I had no chance of getting something else out before. This might have been a bad choice. Or not. Gosh, I thought he was slacking off, wasting time with that Pokemon battle. You know, you can search for your mushrooms yourself if you're like that. Don't complain, I'm doing this completely for free for you. But look at this splendid specimen of a mushroom you found. You're natural at this foraging stuff, you know. Only one mushroom left. Have a Swinub accompany you around Hearts, Crack, and Snow. Why is there a marker here still? That shouldn't be there. Let's try catching that thing. Right on the head. We got it! I can't believe it. We actually got it. We don't have a trust Ralts. Alright. The name of this Pokemon is so strange. I think it's called Trusla in Japanese as well. And it's also the German name. The English name is Ralts, which is missing an A, but all of the names are just an anagram of Astral. So why is it different in English? Also, Trusla would work in English as well, right? And wouldn't miss the A. Oh, found one, did you? A fine mushroom indeed. Well done. And this is also annoying me. Now we have to report back. But he was just there telling us we found all the mushrooms. Why do we need to go back and report? Why didn't he take it right away on the spot? That's a completely unnecessary step here. Fantastic effort all around. You and Swinub did a great job tracking down those 3 mushrooms I was after. It sure was fun foraging with you both. Pokemon and people together make for a great team. I can't wait to forage with you elsewhere. Perhaps with a new Pokemon pal along to help. It'll be hard to top Swinub though. Its snuffling skills may well be the best out there. Thinking about it, it was a Swinub that discovered the hot spring in the Pearl Settlement too. Maybe I should really just partner up with a Swinub, huh? Moral and Swinub, the mushroom hunting dream duo. Sounds good, doesn't it? I mean, yes. Oh, we got the sand radishes we need. Well, that was... Teleport, Rief. Teleport. You have a teleportation function. You are like the Enterprise. In a strange way, actually you are. You can teleport. Where was it though? No, it should be... there. I was searching for Gaga. Which... Wait, Rufflet level 52. Isn't that evolution level already? No, not quite. You know what? I might just use the candies and get it over with. Oh, that wasn't enough. There we go. My favorite new Pokemon in this region. It is a bit bad that my favorite new Pokemon in a region is a regional form, though. But, I mean, it's my favorite bird in the Pokemon games. My favorite flying type, so... And this is even better than the original. So it's a bit unfair. So, let's get Gaga back. Okay, we don't have to change our team anymore for now. Which is fine. We'll complete the Pokédex. Did I what? We need a Curlier. What did I not name? The Rowlet? Rufflet? No, I did not name it.
You moved it out again?
Yeah. It's done. We evolved it.
Exactly did we do that?
Because part of our challenge is having the rideable or king noble Pokemon, whatever you want to call them, before we encounter it. I forgot to heal. Well, it doesn't matter much. We're gonna... I just heard catch.
No, I'm in the kitchen.
Kitchen for a moment, okay.
I need a cool drink.
Don't stumble. Don't run into the door frame.
I don't do
often.
Ouch.
Did you just actually...
No. I boxed it.
Why?
Because I nearly fell.
I just... Oh. This is not working as I wanted it to work. Quick check. Let me quickly check something. Over here. Makes more sense. Damn it. Okay, the problem we have with this side quest now is as following. Ouch. Don't destroy everything.
That was a cold. Fell out again.
Don't call it Coke. Not after all that crack. She's talking about a Coca-Cola. Not about Coke like that. So the problem we have is with Curlia. There might be one down there where we caught the routes, but it would be easier in here. We cannot go in there, however, right now. So... what else can we do? What else can we do? New wares, we can get that too. So, I think the best thing to do is progress the story. So we can get inside and then continue on with the side quest. I think that's the best. Yeah. Okay, so let's go into Storytown. It's a town full of words that make up sentences, which make up like a chain of things that make sense if you read them together, which people probably normally call a story. I say probably, of course they call that a story. I am talking garbage. But you're used to that by now. So that's what you're here for, right? Well, that was a real slug, fighting through those miserable icy winds to reach this desolate bit of nowhere. Well done, us. This gentleman is Avalok's warden and my most honorable teacher, Garrick. So show some respect, Adaman. Let's begin with some proper introductions. I'm Garrick. I serve as one of the Pearl Clan's wardens. And you must be Legia, right? Of the Galaxy team? Answer me this, would you? On what grounds do you come here seeking to quell Lord Avalok? He's in a frenzy. That leads to my next question. What is wrong with him being frenzied? It could trouble others. Then I have another question. Setting aside any orders, what is it that your heart tells you to do? To quell his frenzy. Almighty Lord of the Tundra, Avalok has done nothing to trouble any person or Pokémon. Sir, please try to keep your cool. For now, indeed, Avalok's causing no trouble. But aren't we also duty-bound to free our people from living in fear that such a colossal Pokémon might begin to wreak havoc at any moment? We are. There's certainly some logic to that. But if that is what you hope to accomplish, then we must judge whether this child is up to the task. Who cares about the grandstanding? Let's get to battling. Let's start. My musculature is as hard as and unyielding as ice. Think you can break through? I mean, the unyieldingness of ice depends on how cold it is actually, but yeah. Ouch. Let's rock slide. That should do good damage. It even one-shots. I did not expect that, to be honest. Hello there. And now let's do crunch. Bang. That was easy. Outstanding. I'm tough as an iceberg, but you smashed me through and through. I suppose you all can get on with it now. This one's alright. Thank you, sir. Some may still have their doubts about a stranger like Legia, but I vouch for her. Then, if you insist on quelling Avalok's frenzy, you want to claim some of that eternal ice he likes and bring it to my lord's seat. Good luck. Eternal ice, is it?
Sorry.
For that, you'll have to be able to fly, which means you need braviary. Long story short, you've got to seek out a young lady named Sabi. Tell the long story long, you're not saving any time if we waste puzzling out what you mean. Isn't Avalok one of the Pearl Clan's lords? Seems a bit odd for me to do the talking. Yes, but Sabi is one of your clan, if I remember correctly, and you should explain what you mean by that. Also, I already have a braviary. Why can't I fly on that? I also could just fly on a Staraptor or something.
I think we were mistaken.
What?
About the cat attacking my shoes.
Why?
Because Daikon just lay between my shoes.
Strange, but if he wants to. Can you check their water?
Oh yeah.
It's so warm, just to make sure that they don't run out.
Fresh, colder one.
Yeah, fresh cold is good. We should do that like twice a day now, with how hot it is. This eternal ice stuff can be found atop Avalok's legacy here. But to get there, you'll need my clan's help. Not even Sneasler can climb this surface, let alone a person like you or me. You're going to have to approach by air, with Braviary's help. Garrick once managed to climb nearly to the top of Avalok's legacy. I'll have you know. He says he made it to with... What? Let me... Wait a minute. He says he made it to within 6 feet of the top. Okay, now the sentence makes sense to me. Might makes right, or at least height. And about Sabi, how do I put this? Even when she's not flying with bravery, she's got her head in the clouds. Well, you'll understand once you meet her. Head towards Snow Point Temple, and you'll probably come across her sooner or later. What? Sabi! Okay, wait a quick minute. I have something on my glasses. Oh, that's better. There was like... I don't know what it was. Like a big thing. Floating. Floating on my glasses. Yeah, because stuff floats on glass. My clairvoyance told me that I'd lead you on a chase. Think you can reach me? I see what you meant about Sabi, but why would she be up there? Seems you better focus on pursuing Warden Sabi, and let me focus on my workout while I still can. You know? It would be a fun Easter egg that if we let this play out for like 2 or 3 minutes when he's done like a couple of hundreds of these, he just falls down because he's wasted. Right? That would be so nice. But this being a Pokemon game, I wouldn't waste my time waiting for this. Because probably not gonna happen. So let's get up there. Shouldn't be that hard. Gotcha. Hello, my name's Sabi. Is her name Sabi because of wasabi? Oh. Nice to meet you, Legia. Pleasure's all mine. She's definitely one of the best wardens. Because she wears green and has green hair. I've heard about you. You're super talented, right? I bet you're gonna be fun to play with. I know why you're here too. You want Braviary's help so you can quell Avalok's frenzy, don't you? Well, you get it. If you can catch me first. Let's go, Braviary. I think I have the right tone. It's just not young enough, the voice. Not young and girly enough, but I think the rest works out. Catch up to Sabi. Where's she? All the way over there. So quickly run towards her. Everybody, jump! That would be an interesting idea for an auto runner. You control it with your voice. When you say jump, your character jumps. Not by the press of a button. It should work tightly though. Because it needs to react as soon as possible. Or it needs to be easy enough that you have a bit of leeway, right? Leeway. Yeah, not lean way. Legia! You made it all the way up here in this cold. But the question is, did you catch me? Or did I let myself get caught? Yeah, but logically thinking, if you let yourself be caught, you were still caught. Right?
Yeah.
And if you are caught in the act, then you're a boy band from the 90s. Which I just realized, caught in the act. What act, exactly? Knowing the 90s, it's probably that act.
Yeah.
Hey, Macarena. Look it up. It's a song about a girl dating other guys that are not her boyfriend. Without the boyfriend knowing. Because it's fine if you date others, if your partner knows about it and is fine with it, then there's no problem, of course. But, well, he was out of town and she wanted
They were so fine.
his friends because that. They were so fine. Hey, Macarena, indeed. Oh, and one more thing. Am I even really clairvoyant? You might be. No one but me could really know, right? Anyway, the challenge continues. The next stop of our merry chase is Snowpoint Temple. The last girl that was clairvoyant that we saw died. In Buffy. She rescued her from the demon.
That one, yeah.
But then her heart just stopped because of a heart condition.
Yeah.
There was no saving there. But the real question here is, am I really having fun playing with you? Or am I bored? I can tell you one thing for sure. If you're playing with me, but you are bored, then for a fact, you are also stupid because, I mean, you don't need to play with me. So if it's boring you, why? Okay, where's our marker? This is also... I don't know if I would want to search for her, but actually not having a quest marker for this specific quest where you need to find her, right?
Yeah.
Well, they say catch, so that's the catch with this. Right? So it kinda makes sense that you know where she is. But yeah. The thing about quest markers for main and side quests is they're fine as long as you actually know where you need to go. Because it's just handy and you don't have to remember the complete map of a, well, big game. But yeah. But if you don't know where you need to go and they still show you via marker, that's kind of. That's a bit much. I mean, make them optional. Because some people might still need those, and that's fine. That's very fine. I had played games where they told me where to go, but I still didn't know where to go. It can get complicated sometimes. It can get.
Remember Yokai Watch?
Yokai Watch was awful with markers. They literally plastered all over with markers, if I remember correctly, that it was
able to disable them, but then they wouldn't focus on a specific house you had to go in.
Yes.
Which they would do if you had them enabled.
Yes. I explain a bit more. The game did basically this. It says, oh look, you have to go to house X. And then you stay here, and the camera zoomed over to house X, and did, wait, I have to do this. And zoomed in on it, like this. And then got back to you. And the marker showed you where to go, but in a really, the marker was on your character even, I think. Was everything all the way around you and stuff like that. Even though you could walk this without the marker. You could turn off the markers, but this one, the zooming over there, was not included then. You disabled that as well. And if they say go to the house of your friend, yeah, my character knows where that is, but I as a player don't know, so at least show me where the house is, but you don't need to give me a step-by-step manual, basically, on how to get there. I can walk streets on my own.
They even did the step-by-step, I think.
Yeah, might be.
They showed you a marker to every corner.
Yeah, every corner. And the thing also about Yokai Watch, because what's special about that? The map wasn't really big. It was set in a pretty small town, so it really is not necessary, not hard to find where to go. It's just there are several houses, and you just don't know which house is the right one. But once you know where the house is you need to go, it's easy to get there. You wouldn't really. I mean, the game is good. Don't get me wrong, the game is still good. Not as good as I have expected, and also, yeah, people called it the Pokémon Buster, but the thing is, I liked Yokai Watch. However, most yokai were designed in a goofy way, which is fun for an anime maybe, but if you're gonna make a team that battles the enemies out of it, yeah, if you like goofy monsters, that's perfect, of course, but I like having cool monsters like Braviary over here. And it was really hard finding a good team for me. There are some. There are also some cute ones, but most, like 90%, are goofy looking. And then the game had evolution, like in Pokemon. But, like, only 4 yokai were able to evolve. Something like that. Which is, okay, at that point, it would be better not to have them evolve. You can make a game like this with no evolutions. Look at Monster Rancher. That has no evolutions.
Monster
Rancher. Which is fine. It works if the game is set up for that. But having like... Imagine only 4 Pokemon would evolve out of like... I think Yokai Watch had around 200 yokai in it.
I'm not
So you are at Gen 2 and only 4 Pokemon can evolve. Why? It had its problems and it could never reach Pokemon. It couldn't. As also the battle system was strange. It was like you get bonus stuff when all your yokai belong to the same family. But you don't get anything if you mix it. And I did not like that. The benefit system would be good if you have only different yokai from different families, or mix specific families, that you get also different bonuses from that, not just from one thing. Also that you have to rotate them, it was just a bit strange. It was fun, but I played it as an adult. From a children's perspective, that battle system with the rotating stuff and seems a bit complicated. Too complicated. Opposed to the very, very easy to understand battle system in Pokemon. Right? Which is basically pick up and play. Well, on with the text. Hi again, Legia. It's nice having someone new out here to play with. Safety in numbers or something like that. My cat just peed beside me. In the litter box. The litter box is down there. Not on the floor. But it smells a bit. I mean, it's normal that it smells, but if you're sitting beside it and it's fresh, yeah. It's a bit sour. Anyway, here's Snowpoint Temple. I've opened the front door for you. Just a little more chasing left for you to do. But the real question here is, am I really having fun playing with you? Or am I bored? I heard what Warden Sabi said. If you have Warden Sabi's approval to enter, then by all means do so. But be warned, those who cannot solve the temple's puzzles won't get very far within. You know what, those aren't even really puzzles. I've heard that the trick is to pay attention to which way the stone statues are looking. A hint you wouldn't really need, but if you're a smaller child, like 8 or 9 years, it's probably better that they gave it, right? I can't say for sure if I would have understood it. I mean, I did more complicated puzzles at that age in other RPGs.
Kids can do more than.
Yeah, I think even an 8-year-old would figure that out. Or at least have him say it when you talk to him again. And please, sorry, I mean, nose cleaning. Came out my eye. The snot came out of my eye. I hate that. Also, did you know that in Japanese, if you translate it from Japanese to English, snot would be called nose water? What? Nanamizu? Hanimizu. Okay, now I'm confused. No. Wait. Hanamizu. It's Hanamizu. Look it up. Now I'm confused. I'm pretty sure it's Hanamizu. Come to think of it, I believe the statues have some sort of patterns on their chests too. And the most confusing thing, though, is the first room, actually. Because you are in this room. Yeah, you see there's a staircase, but pay attention to the statues. And they have stuff on their chests. And that looks like a door. I mean, there's even a path over there. This is not openable, though. You just walk over here. Also, this is for later. But we can catch our Curlia in here. Hanamizu. Yeah, like I said. Not Nanamizu. You said Nanamizu. Yeah. Okay. We have to remember rock. Rock. Steel. Well, ice. Rock. Steel. Ice. Damn it, I just ran out of juice. Doesn't have to be yet, but can you exchange the ice cubes? And put something new in the fridge. I mean, it's good that we are drinking so much. We found a wisp. So let's mark it. Okay, ice. Rock. Steel. Ice, rock, steel. Rock. Ice. Ice, rock, steel, rock, ice. Or earthly, you could call it. It's good if you can make up a word of the first letters of stuff like this. It just doesn't always work because sometimes same letters used and, well, then you would have a problem. Okay, starting here. Steel. Ice. Rock. Steel, ice, rock. Ice. Steel. Rock. Steel. Ice. Rock. Ice. Steel. Rock. Haha, this was the last one, I think. Oh, thank you so much. So, 2 Pokemon we can catch here. It is not a Curlia, it's a Ralts. Damn it, we have one more chance, though. Let's get it anyway. We got it! Nice. Curlia, please. Another Ralts, but there might be one more over here. Sometimes there's one more. Sometimes. Oh, damn it. Really? I guess I've been caught, so we're nearly done. That's no fun. Hey, remember my clairvoyance? It showed me something else. I saw you flying with braviary. Do you think that'll come to pass? I'll make sure it does. Well, however the future turns out, flying with Braviary isn't easy. Yeah, you have to press a button. If you really want to be able to fly high in the sky, prove to me you're strong enough. Gonna take us on? Yep. Can you also... Thank you. Now get ready, cause here come Rhyperior, Magmortar, and Electivire. All three of them! Go! And I can only use one, and this sucks. I mean, there are no rules at this point. So, and even if there are rules, there are 3-on-3 battles in Pokemon. They kind of died after Gen 5, though, but they technically are there. We have to get rid of this one first. Let's go with Earth Power. Power of the Earth! Come forth! And then we summon Captain Planet. They are all weak against ground, I think. Strange. Okay. This isn't looking quite that well for me. Should I heal? Let's go. Let's hope for the best. Ooh, okay. That's... Ouch. I mean, we have more Pokemon, so... let's go with Floy. And Leaf Bladed to death. Ting! Wait, this did not finish it off? Huh, wow. Wow, you caught us and you beat us. You've won all our games so far. But Braviary still wants to get to know you even better. Up to the roof we go. Did by chance have me respawning while I battled. Because it is annoying to get up here again just for one Pokemon. It does not seem like it though. Nope, we have to get back up here. Except if in that place where Gardevoir was, there might also spawn a Curlier. Maybe we get lucky there. We can now fly after all. Because we are pretty fly guys. And girls. Especially a girl because, well, we play a girl. So yeah. Give me that quickly. The green one. Look, it's a ladybug. Technically, it's the most equivalent one to that, right? Okay. Grog! Grog! Alright, Braviary. Why not test out Legia's strength for yourself? Oh, right, we'd have to battle this. Oh, Shalade will be good. Because we can ceaseless edge it. Because, well, Shalade is an edgelord. Use Hurricane, which I avoid, and you're dead. Well, that easy. I can't believe Braviary lost. But that's that. Thanks for playing with me. Guess I'll head home now. Bye. Hey. I was kidding. Play along with me on your flute. Really should have been different melodies. I'm gonna take this off for the stream. We haven't put this thing on in a long time. Should, yeah, we should put it back in the sleeping room. Sleeping room? Sleeping room. Bedroom. I mean, it's a sleeping room. Yeah. Skyplate. Thanks, Sabi. Oh, wait, that wasn't she who said that. Obviously. Sure, having Ligia to fly around with should be fun for Braviary. Yeah, well, I'm glad. A world where people and Pokemon live and work together. Huh? Tell me, why do you think the lightning that comes from the rift would cause these frenzies? Do you think this is all Almighty Sinnoh's anger? Or do you think this is a trial it's putting to us? The thing is, do we even get an answer to that?
I don't know. Maybe we get when
I mean,
I
still haven't caught Arceus in my private playthrough, so maybe there's an answer there. But I kind of have a feeling we never get an answer and no solution to the whole story. If it is a trial, if we prove ourselves worthy, and we quell the last noble, calm Avalok, then the rift really ought to close, right? Even if the one who seems to be clearing this trial is a newcomer like you, not one of us who've been living here in history for ages now. How come you're playing all wise? I thought you weren't a big thinker, Adaman. Hush, Sabi. I can feel history on the move. And as far as I can see, the one ushering in this new era is you. So if I stick with you, someday I might get to meet Almighty Sinnoh myself. The question is, does listening to Adaman fascinate you? Or bore you to tears? Anyway, Ligia, it's time for you to go soar with Braviary. If you jump up from way up here, Braviary can take you gliding just about anywhere. But don't forget to get the Eternal Eyes. That's why you need a Braviary in the first place, right? Yes, but we want to do something more awesome. Avalok's legacy is down there. Down there, where the textures aren't really that pretty. Now go get a feel for flying with Braviary. When you're done soaring the skies and wanted to land, just ask him to dive. Yeah, that seems safe. Bodnian, thanks for the host. Much appreciated. And welcome everyone to my stream. Playing Pokemon Legends Arceus right now and delving into some side quests. After this main quest thingy, because we kinda needed Braviary. Yes, I know how Braviary works. Boom. We want to get on top here. It's so sad that there is nothing here. Absolutely nothing. That is so... Nah. Give me something. This is the highest point in the game. Nowhere are you able to jump from this high up. Technically the highest point would be on Mount Coronet, but you can't really jump from there and fly through the region. You can only do that from here. So yeah. Let's check if we get Curlia. Okay. Curlia, please. Oh, right. It's night. They're only here in the day. So let's go to Ice Peak Camp and make a day. Until morning. And let's have a look. There's, by the way, a trick with this, so you can fly faster and further. Not as fast and not as far, like you could with just pressing B, but if you just repeatedly press B, you do this. Personally, I find it quite annoying and not worth it, so I'm not doing this, but if you don't mind it, you can get something out of it. You are not a curlier, sir. Are you even a sir? Yes. I mean, that womanly looking thing, that's a sir, because the Japanese name is Sir Knight. For some reason. I don't get it as well. Wait, don't we have one of those left? Yes, 2 even. Let's get these. That wasn't the right marker. Boom. Also, let's get this side quest. Because now we are in side quest town. With a population of some number. Hey, you're a member of Galaxy Team Survey Corps, right? I've heard you're studying Pokémon and making some kind of book about them. Does that mean you're also studying my dear beloved Bergmite? Well, about that. Of course. What? I can't allow that. Her hand. I know this is the texture from the snow, but... Oh no. This looks like from a very different game. That means you know more about Bergmite than I do, right? I'm absolutely convinced that nobody loves or understands Bergmite more than I do. Once you've completed its entry in your book, come show it to me. As Bergmite's #1 fan in all of Hisui, I make sure you haven't missed any details. I think we have finished that. You completed Bergmite's entry? Oh, what to do? I want to look, but then I don't want to look, and... Fine, I'll have a look. Huh? I see. No way, really? Wow, I didn't know that. You did a good job. I particularly liked how you made a note of Bergmite's height and weight. This entry shows that you took the time to get to know many Bergmite and studied them with a passion. Really? There's not really much info in there. I mean, I knew everything you wrote already, of course. What? It's true. I'm the one who knows all there is to know about Bergmite after all. But I did really enjoy reading the entry you made about Bergmite. Its entry in your book might be complete, but I hope you spent more time studying Bergmite. Now the word Bergmite sounds so strange. She repeated it one too many times. There's a name for this phenomenon, I just forgot it. Everything okay? Ah, you need power. So you
I forgot to prepare this before.
stick the metal into the plastic with metal inside. That's technically what it is.
Yes, exactly. What else if not that?
So let's get back into the temple and hopefully this time... There it is. We get what we want. They could have put a wisp up there at least, right? It's so... It's so annoying that there's just nothing over there. You can't even really enjoy the view because it's a view of muddy textures. You know what? Minior would be really good in this game. Really fitting. Like, it could just be something you see sticking out of the ground and you can catch it just like that. Something like that, right?
Uh-huh.
And you don't know which color you get because it's kind of like a Kinder Surprise. Which isn't as good as it used to be. First off, it got really expensive. You know, what did it... 1 Deutsche Mark was it once, right?
No,
Not even?
not even. It was about 30 a pfennig.
30 Pfennig, which
Yeah.
is about 60 cents in euro. No, wait, other way around, right?
The other way around, I think.
No, wait, yeah. It's about 15 cents in euro. That was the price once. And sure, it got more expensive, but it's like $3 now? And the stuff inside it got cheaper and cheaper over time? Not looking good anymore? It's no fun. It's like your grandma gave you $1. I'm just calling it dollar for the sake of argument here. $1, yeah. And you could go out and get yourself a Kinder Surprise and maybe some other nice things, or maybe 2 or 3 Kinder Surprise. Nowadays, your grandma gives you $1, and if you're lucky, you can get a small package of chewing gum. If you're lucky. They have not respawned. Damn it. Okay. We can make them respawn, but we get the satchel first. Until morning, please. Yeah, it's... I'm not someone who is all nostalgic and stuff. I actually like new stuff. Yes, there are games like Chrono Cross, for example, which I still love and have a feeling towards, but that's because they are still pretty good. Other games like Ocarina of Time, for example, it's still a good game, but I don't think it has aged that well. Newer Zeldas are just better with a lot of things. It has its aspects where it's better than other Zeldas, of course, but I just don't wear rose-tinted glasses, is all. But I'm also not missing the olden times, even though it kind of was a nice thing getting this paper package with a cartridge of an SNES game or Game Boy game in it. That was nice. Yes, the smell the stuff had was so... I don't know, it was so peculiar. I don't even know what it is. It's just... It had something. You don't find this anymore, which is okay. It's fine. The games are about fun, not about the packaging, after all. But what I really miss is this old... You can go to a... We call that a kiosk. I don't know if that is known in English. It's like a small shop with some magazines and mainly for smokers. It's kind of like a tobacco store. But they also always had like candies. You know, and you could buy these little paperbacks about this size. Smaller maybe, but this size. And you just pay $1, but you can fill it up. You get this bag for $1, no matter what you put in. Well, candy stuff, of course. Not. You couldn't put a magazine in. And you couldn't overfill it, of course. But it was so worth it. And for a child, and that's the point here. For a child, it was so magical. Thing is, even if we have these around still, and I guess they are still around, one thing that destroys it for children nowadays, they are just too expensive. They don't cost $1 anymore. They cost like probably $5. And you just get more out of it if you just buy it in a big package. But that big package doesn't really have the same magic to it. But with the prices now, you don't really want to pay these. So kids nowadays, lose out on this, and that's sad. And for us, yeah, even if we can afford this, it's not as magical anymore doing it with your money you earned. Gift money is... That's the thing. You get money as a gift, basically. And even if you earn it as a child for some chores or something, even if that is the case, money is still this magical concept to a child, right? Even if it's not gifted but earned, it's something you can just do stuff with that you can't do without. That sounds strange, but I guess you know what I mean, right? I think it's understandable, right? The money you own because you have a job is just... Firstly, you use that for living, first and foremost. And even if you can buy yourself stuff like games and such, it's just not the same anymore as an adult. I like being able to afford basically all the games I want and not only getting like 3 or 4 per year, right? That is nice, sure. And I do appreciate that. And all in all, I like that more. But it has lost its magic. However, when that one game comes around that you don't even get every year, that one game you're looking so forward to, even as an adult, finally getting that game, putting it in, waiting like 2 or 4 hours to update it. Well, that's a thing, right? Then starting to play it, that can have the magic from back there, right? It just has to be the right game. And lucky me, or unlucky me maybe, with Digimon Survive and Xenoblade 3, I will get this on the same day. That's the unlucky part, because 2 games I'm so eager to play, so looking forward to. And probably both, pretty big. Xenoblade obviously much bigger, but I think Digimon Survive will be pretty big. And they come out on the same day? Oh. Yeah. I am gonna stream Digimon Survive on July 29th, though. So look forward to that. They again have not respawned. Damn it. Yeah, gonna stream it. Also playing it in private as well. But that's, well, in private. So that's for me. But how can I decide what to play first, right? I want to play them both at the same time. I will need to split, get a new TV at the same size because they deserve the big TV. And 2 Switches, well, that's not a problem. We have 3 actually. So it's just, that's a bit of a bummer. And that's where being an adult still is better. Because, yeah, I have to decide what I have to play first. But I do have both. I can play both if I want to. Now, as a child, I would have to decide which of these games to get. And that's it. If I choose one, I do not have the other one. At least not at that point. Maybe later, but I have to decide beforehand. I can't go by feeling when I have both. I need to decide before. And that's the awful part of being a child, if stuff like that happens. So, in the end, yes, magic is lost when you're an adult, but the benefits are also there. Okay, nothing here. Damn it. So what can you prefer? Well, I just like owning things, so I prefer being an adult in that way. Because, look behind me. A child couldn't afford all this normally. Right? And between not having this, but having this magical feeling, but having this and still having that magical feeling sometimes. I take this behind me. And why is the magic wearing off? That is a good question. I don't think I can answer it, but I can have a guess at why that happens. And the guess is the following. So, this is my scenario, but you might find yourself within that scenario just with a different game. You're walking on a flea market. They are called flea market, right? In English as well. Walking around a flea market. And your mother, she will buy you something. Because, well, let me tell you, if you go to a flea market with your children, buy them some stuff. Not only one thing, buy them some things. That's part of the experience, right? Where am I even going? What am I even doing right now? Right. Yeah. I mean, of course, you need to be able to afford it for your child. I know that there might be families out there not having the money to do that, but still can have the experience of looking around. That's, of course, fine. But if you can afford it, why not buy him like 2 games, a bit of toys, right? Not everything, but some stuff. That's why you're there, basically, right? So you're walking around, I think I got a board game as well that time. And then you see that stand, that one stand. And I also have one more funny story about this. And there are 2 games that pick your interest. Because you have never seen stuff like that before. They aren't in the normal sized Super Nintendo boxes, but in bigger ones. What is this? Right? One box has this guy on a cliff holding up a sword with a darkish blue background. Looks cool. Yes. The other one, it has a green picture on it with 3 people in front of a giant tree. Some people might guess what those games are by now. And you read the titles. Gladly, even as a child, I was at least able to speak a bit of English. And you read the title, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Oh, that sounds cool. Final Fantasy. Never heard of that. At that point, I never heard of that, actually. And the other one reads Secret of Mana. But I already got some stuff, so I can only get one of those. Oh no. I have to make a decision here. How to decide this? They both are big boxes. I was pretty good at begging as a child. I'm just gonna say it. I begged my parents a lot of times to get stuff, and it often works. But I also knew that I already got this board game. I think I also got a Game Boy game or something. I got some stuff already, so I knew, begging here probably will not work out. Also, while I liked getting a lot of stuff, I also knew when I got a lot of stuff already, so I didn't want to beg at that point. Gladly. And if you know Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, you know why I say gladly. Green was my favorite color. Also foreshadowing, the tree and the many leaves on that cover might be a part of it as well. I just didn't realize as a child, but here we are at Rief, the leaf. But it was green, so I looked at the backs of both and I chose Secret of Mana. My very, very first RPG. That was a very good choice. It got me into RPGs, and like I said a lot of times in videos and stuff already. Funnily enough, I prefer turn-based RPGs, even though my introduction to RPGs was an action RPG. And we went home. It's a video game. I, of course, had to play it right away. but reading the manual first on the way home. Normally, in this case, not. Because we walked. It was relatively close, like a 10-minute walk. Might be 20 minutes, actually. And I have already forgotten what point I was going to with this. What was this about? Why am I mean, it's a nice story time thing, but...
The magic stuff.
The magic stuff.
Having to decide.
Right. Yes, and the game, I did not put it in because I opened the box and what was this? I would show you what was inside, but from the top of my head, I don't know where it is. Do you know where it is?
Is it in the living room or is it here?
Probably here. Okay, my wife is quickly checking it out. And, I mean, probably you know what Secret of Mana had back then. But yeah. We'll continue this in a minute. Okay, why aren't they respawning? That sucks. That really sucks. Also, let's... This. Not there. Then I have no idea, actually.
Let me check the living room.
Okay. My wife checks the living room quickly. If we don't find it, I just tell you what is inside. But it would be so much more awesome to show you. And yeah, I still have it. I don't have the game, sadly, anymore, because my father just gifted it away to other people without me consenting to that. Mind you, I don't like just giving my games to other people. I was always fine with lending them to people, but not gifting it to them, no. I still play these things. And Secret of Mana is worth a lot right now, so I wouldn't be planning on selling it, so that worth isn't really important to me, but there's that as well, right? Okay, it's not in the living room.
Yeah, I'm not sure where.
Yeah, okay, we don't know where it is right now. It's fine. It had a big book in it. And I was thinking, what a huge manual. And it was actually a guide to complete the game. That was strange. But, well, okay. And I think this was pretty cool because for my first RPG, having a guide as well, whenever I got stuck, I could just look it up and it wouldn't destroy the experience for me. Don't know how it would have worked out. Maybe I wouldn't like RPGs now because that would have destroyed my experience getting stuck there. Might be, might not be. I didn't get stuck all that often as well, so yeah. Icicle! Yeah, it was in there, so... Well, I'm not gonna read all of this. I wanna play. So I played, and... I loved the game, obviously. And that was just so awesome. Okay, let's get out of here. Was just this magical moment of... Without knowing the other game, I knew I picked right. This was the right choice. And yeah, I later played Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. And if you know that game... I actually did recommend it in last year's December videos where I listed a few RPGs, turn-based and there were two videos, one for turn-based RPGs, one for action RPGs. That would be good for beginners. It was in there because, yeah, the game isn't the best, but really, if it's your first RPG, it's fine. It's fine. It gets the job done of teaching you the basics. That's the only thing it does, though, teaching you the basics without, well, much more to it. The story is okay-ish, and I would say it's a very mediocre game that, I mean, check it out still, because it's not that bad, to be honest. I think you have to like RPGs, or it has to be your first RPG. And you have to go in prepared for a low-key game that is still enjoyable and very easy, but if you go in with the right mindset, you can find enjoyment in it. So yeah, this was the magical moment where I chose this game, which was just, yes, this was the right thing to do. This was just what I needed at that point. And I played that a ton out of it. Played it with friends in multiplayer because that was possible for it. And I actually finished it as well. Cannot say that about a lot of RPGs from my childhood because mostly got stuck at the last boss. Funnily enough. Like in Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy IV. 5 I beat though. Yeah. This was the right choice. Now to the funny part, which I have no idea if there's any truth to it, and I never bothered to ask him, but the main character in the saves that were on that, it was a flea market game, it was used, so it was played by people already, was Kosti. That might sound strange. It's a short version we use in Germany for Konstantin. And I later, like years later, had someone in my class called Konstantin, which was called Kosti. Now, of course, there's no real... It probably wasn't him, maybe, but I knew he played video games, but not that much. Would make have sense that he sold it back then. It could have been. Of course, there's no proof that he was, but I think it would have been funny if that turned out to be the case. Right?
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, it's not that... It's not a rare name, but it's also not a very common name, is the case as well. I never met anyone else with that name in my life, though. So... That's the thing. If it was something like Michael, yeah, I mean, how many Michaels are there? I knew I had 2 alone in my neighborhood. And 2 in my class that weren't the ones from my neighborhood. Right? So yeah, but that would be fun. Okay. Now I think especially Sarge would need some more moves. He can learn Ice Ball. Interesting. Oh boy. Can't learn much in terms of in terms of type coverage. Normal, yeah, I mean, but normal is just... I like having different types of attacks on my Pokemon because of weaknesses, and normal, well, doesn't work with that. Okay, what do you have? I mean, Aerial Ace, I guess. Poison Jab. Let's go. No, I don't think we need Magical Leaf. Yeah, let's go with these. We have to check more later as well. Gaga also has a bit of a problem here. Thunderfang, yes please. Flamethrower, I mean... I think fire is okay. We can learn a dragon type move. Oh, Wild Charge would be even better than Thunderfang. 65 and 85. But it damages me. Ah, yeah, but still. And Iron Tail, yes. Snarl. We can do something with this. There we go. This is fine. But yeah, that's the magic of choice as well. Especially flea markets. That was always a magical experience, right? Remember that one time where we just randomly found a Super Nintendo controller for like $2?
$1 even.
$1 even.
Perfectly fine. Working and all.
This seems fine. Maybe Stone Edge. Ah, no, we don't need Stone Edge. Yeah, it was working completely. We played Donkey Kong Country with that. Stone Edge. High horsepower. I like that. Flash cannon. Ooh. Water pulse. Almost everyone can learn rest. I think this might be fine. We need to get some moves on these Pokemon. Okay. Let's check. We didn't check Chalet, but to be honest, maybe Aqua Pulse instead? No. I think this is a fine moveset. Yeah, he's fine. Floe. So, we already have Poison Powder, but yeah. Leaf Blade. I like Drain Punch. Leaf Blade or rather Leaf Stone? No, let's do Leaf Blade. And instead of Energy Ball, yeah, do Aerial Ace. There we go. And change moves on you. I have more stories to tell, by the way, so Counter Raging Fury, you keep that, definitely. Ah! Fly. Get away from my mouth, stupid thing. Is that a German thing that flies us is so much of a problem? I doubt it. Those are everywhere, right? So, well, charge. And this looks good, I think. Yes. This looks quite good. Sarge. You keep Chloroblast. Thunderball, I don't know. Ice Ball, definitely. No, Self-Destruct, no thank you. Wild Charge instead of Thunder, and then we again just don't have that much type coverage on this thing. So I guess this is it. Yeah, let's keep it at that. We have 2 electric type moves, oh well. So about you, close combat, huh? No. Stealth Rock. Aerial. I think this is fine. Yeah, this is fine, Twax. And finally, Glaciant, which we don't need ice, but steel would be a good idea. I think instead of crunch, high horsepower is 85 and 95, while earth power is 80 and 100. Lowest defense. Let's go with earth power in that case. And the rest is okay, like it is. Okay. So, one bad move I made on a flea market. I traded a game. I had Castlevania for the Game Boy. No, wait. Damn it, I gave it away. I don't even remember which game it was I traded in. Yeah, I was selling stuff myself there at that time. And I was with an adult, of course, so I made a bit of a break, walked around, looked at stuff that I would like to buy. And one other child had Game Boy games there, and Castlevania looked interesting, so I asked him if he would trade, because I was selling some Game Boy games to buy new games, so trading, that works as well. And he traded. And I got Castlevania, which, if you know the Castlevania for the Game Boy, uh, it's clunky. It's not the best. And I traded in something like Mega Man or stuff like that. I don't know. Something better, definitely. Got the short end of the deal in that case. That can happen. It isn't as bad as... I never bought this game. I just landed it from a friend. He just gave it to me for a while. Which was Mortal Kombat. That wasn't good. He got that game back, definitely. And not long after I played it. So, let's get the requests in here. Did I get that Curlier to show me? Yes, I Curliered that. I caught it. I mean. You know, they say Curlier just loves to dance. I kinda get it. That feeling when your hair sways around while you're dancing. It's the best. Actually, yeah. That's the sort of hairstyle I want to go for. Now, how to gather up the hair right way? And where should it be let down? Oh, I've got it. That's what I'll do. Girl, I owe you one. Thanks to you and Curlia, I've got ideas for some new hairstyles. And new colors, like no one's ever seen. Come by anytime and try them out for yourself. Well, we are going to do that. I like this hairstyle though, so maybe we don't change. Still have to pay the 500 Poké. Game Freak. I know you're watching my streams. I wish you would watch my streams. But this is stupid. Let me choose beforehand. Or at least if I don't change anything, don't keep my money. So I have no idea which ones were there before, so... Sean? We had that, I think. Middle part. Modern Bob. Sideswept. I don't like it if an eye is covered. Twin Tails, we had that before. Fancy. Curled. Formal updo. Braids and modern short. Oh! I wouldn't have expected this. Yeah, we keep... which is it? Long? No. Which is the one we had?
The one with the dot thingy.
Yeah. Wait. Which one? I'm ignoring this because it has that symbol.
Yeah.
So, let's look at the colors. We have turquoise right now. Brown, slate, gold, black, white, crimson, blue, violet. Is that a violet for you? You would probably like a character violet, right? Clementine, peach pink, which sadly I don't like, but I would like pink hair. Ash blonde, periwinkle, whatever that is. Ash brown and flax. Well, the violet is nice, but I prefer the turquoise, so we don't get anything done. Like I thought we would. Oh well. Oh, don't act as if this is new. I'll wear it. Give me my hat. Okay. Then we go down here to give him the radishes. Wait, I cleaned off my inventory. This is also, it's so strange that you can't just go from the storage while in the city. For quests, at least. That's so, I don't know, that doesn't make sense. Oh no, only 3. We only need 3. Okay. There's something new there even. You know what? Let's take it out. At home under the eaves. This Jameco quest. And the other one, Snow White Vulpix. Calls them Keo Keo. And you have a quest as well, huh? If it isn't one of our beloved customers, might I trouble you to help me with a little survey work? My family, we've always passed down tales of some ancestor that lived in a village around the avalanche slopes, but I've never been able to find any hint of such a settlement ever existing. I'm beginning to doubt the tales are true. Beginning, not begging. But everyone wants to know about where they came from, don't they? No. Actually, I don't care where I come from or where anyone else comes from. The only thing that counts for me is what kind of person you are. Right? It's not important. Yes, I am lucky that I was born in Germany because, I mean, you could also be born in a very poor African village or something, and yeah, that would change your life a lot. But it's not I didn't do that. I was born here because that just happened. I had no saying in that at all, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's not important. Your personality is important. What you do is important. Nothing else. You can come from the best family, but still be an ass. What do you gain from that? Nothing. So help me out. See if you can find any evidence people ever lived around the avalanche slopes. And I know where we can find this. The Survey Corps recruit who quelled the Lord of the Hollow. I'm sorry you keep getting roped into errands on my account. If you're sorry about that, then don't be a stupid old geezer. Also, your glasses together with your eyebrow kind of look like an insect. Now I cannot unsee this. You see that?
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, I'd be happy to just get my course products out to the shop for free. But that mean letting Choi off the hook, and the very idea of that sets my teeth gnashing. Yeah, but you know what? People depend on this shop and you giving him wares. If you don't give him wares, yeah, that will give him a headache, which you want, but also gives a lot of other people who don't have anything to do with it a lot of problems. Don't care about that? You egotistical maniac. Are you bound for the Alabaster Islands soon? Would you bring me back 3 sand radishes? Oh, you're back with the veggies. Well done, gathering them in that harsh climate. Would you let me have 3 sand radishes? Sure. Sand radishes. The Alabaster Island's finest feature. If you give these bitter roots a nice, thorough pickling, it brings out a unique sweetness. Once they're pickled, they make for a lovely crisp and quite well-liked snack. My granddaughter makes a fine pickle. I tell you that. I tell you what. Wait, his granddaughter. Oh, I'm just putting 2 and 2 together. You also realized that just now? You'll see in a minute. The NPC designs can be misleading.
Yeah.
I was searching for a word with D, but I just can't. Deceiving.
Yeah.
Deceiving. Perhaps I'll ask her to give one of these nice briny soak. Anyway, I'm sorry to have kept on using you as a go-between with Joy. I suppose it's time I had a proper conversation with the whelp. I mean, about time. Wait, was that a Piplup? That was a Piplup. Did we give her that Piplup?
Probably.
Most of the Pokemon here are from us. Alright, can we afford an upgrade here? We can. My private playthrough, I think I'm almost done with it. He wants 1 million Pokédollar now. But still, sometimes my satchel is full. It happens very rarely, but it happens. Yeah, boy Choi. Now listen, I'll set you up with some new goods, but as a favor to Legia, not you. Don't think for 1 second this means I've accepted you. But Tahua, sir. Oh, please, Grandpa. I can't believe this is still an issue for you.
Huh?
That's the name of the ghost girl in the German version, not hers.
Okay.
Why did they do this? This is strange. I can spoil it. People probably know about it. You get Spiritomb by collecting all the wisps, and, well, that girl is the last one. I mean, that was obvious from the beginning as well, so, yeah. So I named it after that girl, which is called Yui. So my Spiritomb is called Yui because of that. And now she, in the English version, is named Yui. That's strange. Also, her lips look like an elongated Geodude. I really want a fire rock type Geodude regional form, where it's like black with magma veins throughout. That would look so cool. Yui, how long have you been? What? Is our little store not worthy to sell your goods? Talk about letting personal feelings get in the way of your business. If you keep this up, Grandpa, I swear I'll never speak to you again. But why, sweet Yui? You swore you'd never get married and leave your poor Grams. Who in their right mind takes a tiny child's words so seriously? Chi-Chi and Goku do. That's why they're married. I mean, Goku was thinking it was about food. Their marriage is built on misconceptions. But it still works out pretty well, so...
Yeah,
I mean...
it's never there.
For Goku, that is... I mean, as well as you can expect with someone like Goku.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry my grandpa has to be such a bother to you, Legia. I hope this doesn't put you off visiting our shop. It's not that I have any choice, because you're the only shop here that I never buy stuff from, technically, so... nothing lost, nothing gained. Well, in any case, we've got excellent new items on our shelves. Do buy some. No. So, and... Oh, it's not her. I just put 2 and 2 together that the pickling girl he was talking about is that woman, but no. That's Radisa. Like radish. Interesting. Yes, radish in German are Radieschen. Which implies, because the chen at the end is a thing we do to make stuff sound more cute, that there are also bigger vegetables like that called radis.
Yeah,
There's?
yes.
Bye. I'm out. I'm too shocked. That's like getting the meaning of standing on the hose. You're with the cervix. Okay. I'm not gonna do the old guy's voice. I did so many old guy's voices. I'm getting a sore throat right now. You're with the cervicals, right? It Chemicals decided to nest in my house. Do you think you could help me get it to move? Jimmy. Jimmy, Jimmy. It made itself at home under the eaves before I even noticed. It seems mellow enough, but I'm not at ease with having a Pokemon so close.
It's not an old man, you know that, right?
Yeah, it's not an old man, but
Yeah, okay.
the old voice. I mean, yeah, not at ease with having a Pokemon so close, but look how aggressive and frightening it looks. I would say, but actually, bears are cute, right? They could rip your chest open without even their full strength in use. Right? There are cute animals that are dangerous, so being afraid is not necessarily the stupidest thing here. I mean, it makes a bit more sense than being afraid of a spider that you know can't hurt you. Right? But that's a fear a lot of people have, and it's fine having that fear. Yes, it is kind of stupid, but people having that fear do know that. It's still a fear. You can't really do much about that. So, yeah. I've already spoken to some homeowners who'd be willing to let Jameco move in with them. What I'd like to do is have a look at the homes and make sure they'd be a good fit for Jameco. It's not like I can tell what Jameco feels, so the first place I'd like to check out is that farmer's house near the fields. Think you could find a nice place for Jameco to hang there? Give me a sec. Gonna refill my cup. Who am I cosplaying? Who am I cosplaying?
I don't know.
Cuphead! Also, can you hear that? I can hear my voice through the bottle. Does the mic pick that up?
I don't think so.
I mean, good or not? It sounded funny. That's too big for that. Here, the ocean. The bottle just farted at me. I'm just putting that away. Now I have wet hands. I need a towel for this. Okay, let's do this. Let's follow this side quest line. Bada boom, bada boom, bada bang, bada bong. I mean, it's kind of strange. She's afraid of having Pokemon near her, but by now this city... Right? Oh, they're drying persimmons. That's a very Japanese thing.
Yeah.
Drying
Not just
radishes,
for-
though?
Maybe they just keep them there until they eat.
Maybe.
Radishes tend to last pretty long.
Because I don't think there's much to dry there. I don't think that would be good. I mean, I don't like radishes in the first place, but... Yeah. Jimmy! The wind direction seems to be bothering Chameco. Back to Ida with my findings. Chilling children. Wait, weren't there 4?
No. I don't think so.
How many balls would you need to catch all Pokemon? Well, that's hard to say. What do you mean catch? A full Pokedex? Because then you could evolve and though don't need all 905.
Yeah, but you
but you might need multiple. But at least you would need a certain amount.
Yeah.
If you want a living dex, 905. Well, 908. We know that there are new starters, which probably evolve, so put 6 more on that, 914. Oh, so it prefers the way the wind blows around my house. I like it too. We get a good breeze. I mean, it depends from where the wind comes, right? Well, they are living near the ocean, so the wind direction won't change that much, probably, right? Well, then, how about the hut by the sea? The ocean breeze is so refreshing. This I find a bit sad because it's lonely. It hangs around there, that hut, where rarely anyone visits. I'll remember that quest. I would say I wish that you could tell the size differences more, but I mean, how big would the Pokemon get to make it that much more noticeable, right? That, yeah. Yeah, it finds it lonely. But there is one guy here. One girl? No, it's a guy. It's a guy. What are you doing here? Huh. Nothing special. That's a child here. It's not as lonely as I thought. Here we found a phone. What are you doing here? Taking a little break, huh? Probably aren't that. They really should do a YouTube series or something with Pokemon fairy tales. Not necessarily copy fairy tales and just put Pokemon in, but make up new fairy tales that are told in the Pokemon world. Right? That would be a cute thing. And I mean, the 3 little Bidoof, that sounds like something very cute. That would probably be an adorable story. Could be about 3 little Bidoof trying to build a dam, but having problems, not finding the right wood, something like that. And then another Pokemon that has something to do with finding wood. Maybe a Grookey comes around, showing them a nice place to get nice wood. Something like that. Right? Well, if they don't do it, I could do it. But I couldn't do nice drawings to with that as well. Do they matter though? Could be like an audio thing only, right? I think about that. So it likes lively places. It's always great to have some activity around. Jimmy. How about the training grounds? With the security corps around, that place is always bustling. I mean, yeah, you can say poor Chimeco, just let it live there, but if she isn't feeling comfortable, you know, it's her own right. That's where she lives, so if she doesn't want to share that place, right, then bad for the Chimeco, but I can't go into, like, someone's villa or something and say, yeah, it's comfortable here, so let me live here. No, it would be the owner's right to kick me out. And that goes for animals as well, right? Can't let a wolf inside because he likes it here. That would be problematic in a lot of ways. Timmy. Is that you, Chimeco? Why don't you come and train with us? Chi? seems like Chimeco doesn't like to battle. It's not a Pokemon trainer. It doesn't want to battle. Hmm?
Just found the promo card.
Wait, not her.
Gammamon is just too cute.
Yeah, Gammamon is so cute. I guess it's only natural that some Pokemon don't like to battle. I'm sorry to scare you, Chimeco. Timmy!
Okay, that's
Oh, is it telling me to not worry about it? How about next door to me then? It's hardly different at all from my place. I just had a chat with my neighbors and they said they'd be fine with Chimeco hanging around. That was a moth. Jimmy. Pardon me. Yeah, that's the moth.
that's not a moth.
Oh, was that a
Mosquito.
mosquito?
The giant kind.
The giant kind. Is there even a difference? Because in Germany we have mosquito, which is for a different animal than what we call a Mücke.
I don't know.
There's no difference in English, right? Because a mosquito is far worse than a Mücke. Mücke are those little things that, yeah, it itches, but that's all. While mosquitoes can be
Malaria
dangerous. What?
The malaria kind.
Yeah. I know I just sent you chasing about looking for a good home for Chimeco, but I think I'd like it to stay with me after all. You've really helped me understand Chimeco a lot better, and I think we can actually live together now. It just dawned on me that hearing its adorable cry coming from under the eaves is part of my routine now. Chime Chime! You're going to live with me from now on, aren't you, Chimeco? Thank you all for all your help. I'm glad this village has the Survey Corps. At home under the eaves. Wait a minute. Eaves are these things up there, right? So is eavesdropping when you... Does that word come from you being up there and listening into something?
I don't know.
Or is it the outside stuff? What is an eave, actually? I have no idea. Oh well. Okay. What else was there? Gone Astray, of course. Yeah, the Lost Village. Okay, let's go do this first. In the Alabaster Highlands. Not the Alabaster Highlands. The Obsidian Highlands. There are no Alabaster Highlands. It's also Fieldlands, not Highlands. So, don't mind me. Do I remember where that was? Oh, well. We'll go with Ursaluna. We might find other stuff on the way as well. Yeah, like this. $20 Tumblestones. I think it was somewhere around over there. Oh, we'll have a look. I wish Ursaluna could do a bit more than just walk. Like, maybe jump at least. I know we have to... No, we don't need to go over there. Okay. I think this is over the water, yeah. Yeah, let's follow it. Whoa! Should be around here. There. Ah, we found one of the poems. Old verse. That's what they're called. No, we'll read those later. When we collected them all. Okay. And let's do Mountain Gale. Okay, welcome back. Okay. Moonstone! We got a moonstone. Oh, we had it with gaming stories, right? Why not the story about my first Pokemon game? It's pretty short. I knew the games were out. That's not a problem, but release dates back then were different. You haven't kept track of them that much. It just, you know, the time they came out, but not the exact date. But I was in the city looking for stuff. Wanted to buy something, but nothing big. Didn't have that much money on my hand. And there I saw it. They had the Pokemon games. Oh no, I was such a big fan. But I couldn't afford them. Then I wanted to get back home and I was using the bus. On that bus, I, by pure coincidence, ran into my grandma. So I was telling her about my find because as a child, you don't really realize that your grandparents don't care about stuff like that. But I told it to her, and I didn't ask for it. She just gave me the money and said, go buy it. I was so happy. I got out the next stop, walked back like maybe 10 minutes, and bought the game. And I was so happy. I played it all day after that. But yeah, thanks to my grandma, she made a lot of things possible for me. My grandma's awesome. She also bought me Bomberman 64 on a flea market. Because I was interested in it, didn't have the money for it, well, was very disappointed, but gave it up. And then when we got back home, she reached into her basket. Here, have it. And gave it to me. That was nice. I have a great grandma. I have two great grandmas. They helped me out a lot. Oh, we found something. Okay, any other gaming memories? And here's a sad thing. It's kind of a gaming story, but At one point, I discovered emulation, of course. I mean, that's what naturally happens when you're into gaming. And it actually just destroyed so much for me, to be honest. It gave me a lot. I would never have known about Chrono Trigger without it, so I also appreciate it in a way, but it also, I don't know, I had access to so many games suddenly. Just needed to download them after all, and yeah, the problem is you lose the appreciation for games, kinda. They are there, handy for you, without money and stuff, and while you can play basically all games out there, you also have the problem of being able to play all games out there, so you rarely stick to a game. At least for me, that was the case. I started so many games and finished none. Sure, there were some games that I fell in love with, so thanks for that still, of course. But like Chrono Trigger, Dragon Quest, definitely. Without emulation, I wouldn't have known many of those Dragon Quest games, but it made things too easy. And I don't say that you need to work hard to enjoy games, because that's not what games are about, but there's a limit. Just like with everything, even your favorite food, you have to limit yourself. Eating your favorite food every day, it will also get stale at one point, right? And yeah, playing games all day won't get stale, but playing the games you actually own all day is the key word here. Playing games you pirated, I know there's no real need, because if I don't play them, I have not wasted any money on them, right? Well, yeah, the thing is, if you buy a bad game, too bad. You have to play the bad game, or don't play a game, or play an old game that you already played enough. There's that side, of course, as well, but I don't know. So many games went unfinished that actually deserved it. I finished those later on and stuff, but yeah. It's a double-edged sword, that emulation stuff. Nowadays, I rarely emulate. Yes, I'm not saying I completely don't emulate more, but it's more like if I can't play the game any other way, because the game is unpayable nowadays or something like that, or I would also need to buy the system, what are you gonna do, right? I mean, the right choice technically would be not play the game, because you can't just steal a car because you can't afford it to have it, right? So yeah, there's a lot of arguments going back and forth for this, so yeah. Also older games, stuff like that. And handheld games, I think, would be fine as well for streaming, because streaming from an actual handheld is complicated. It can be done, but I think you have to completely remodel your handheld for that. And personally, don't give me any tools that use electricity. Never do that. I will also, if you try doing that, I will also tell you, don't do that. I will not take them. I will not handle them, because a catastrophe will happen.
Give me your controller.
I said tools. That is technically a tool. But I mean, I'm just bad at what do you call it? Homeworking. Mechanics?
Yeah, wiring stuff.
Yeah, I can't even get a nail into a wall straight. With a hammer. Just a normal hammer. Although, I never hit my own thumb. At least, not that I remember. So, at least that. But the nail gets crooked. So, yeah. I'm bad at this stuff. And I'm glad my wife is not bad at this stuff. Because if she was, that would be problematic. But yeah, it wouldn't be home remodeling. It would be home wrecking.
Home wrecking is kind of a different thing nowadays.
But might be the same in the end. Yeah, the first time I handled an drill, yeah. I was just, okay, quick distraction here. A drill in German is called Bohrmaschine. Bohren is drilling, so it's a drill machine. And I wanted to say drill machine, but that sounded so strangely wrong. Because it's only a drill in English. That's why I was confused right now. Yeah. The first time I handled a drill, a part of the wall came off. It was like, you know, the wall above windows. I wanted to install. Do you say install with stuff like that? What do you even call those? Not a curtain. The thing. A rollo. We call it rollad. What do we call it in German? Rollladen. Which would translate into roll shop.
Shutters.
I don't get it. Shutters. Shutters? Aren't those the ones outside though? Inside shutters. I think you know what I mean. I wanted to install those. And I asked someone to do that for me. Because I'm bad at craftsmanship, handiwork, whatever you call it. I'm bad at it. And they said, no, you need to learn it. Let me tell you something about needing to learn something. Technically, yes. You need to learn it. But sometimes you are just really so bad at one thing that you might want to give up on learning it, right? I mean, some things you just will never really get. And stuff like that, that's it for me. I just never. We had that in school, and also I had my fair share of hours of learning it, which amounted to nothing. What is löten in English? The stuff where you put a wire onto something and then a hot thing onto it to melt the wire onto said something. Is that understandable?
That's how you connect cables.
Yeah, how you connect cables. We had that in school. I did connect the cable to my finger. That was hot and very ouchy. I did me ouch, you could say. And I don't even know how I do that. Because in my mind, yeah, it's not... Getting a nail straight into a wall is not hard. But why doesn't it work? You do nail, you do hammer, tock, 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 tock. Nail inside wall. But if I do nail, and I do hammer, and I do tock, 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 the nail is bent, and somehow not straight into the wall, but diagonally, and I have no idea how that happened. What? I can't explain it. I can't explain why this happens with me. It's just... It's like I have a skill given to me by birth that says, he cannot do this thing. Never. So, yeah, I guess the sentiment of needing to learn it. There is truth to that. You should not always say, no, I can't do it for me. No. but you also need to know stuff that you really just need help for. And I knew this was the thing, but the guy who said it wanted me to do it myself. And let me tell you one thing more about learning. Yes, maybe there's truth to trying to learn it. But knowing a guy who can't put a nail straight into a wall, giving him a drill, an electrical drill, is that a good idea to learn? It's like, okay, it's your first day of learning how to be a cook. Now do this filet mignon with a mushroom sauce a la mode. That doesn't make any sense. That is deglazed. He didn't even know half the words. Right? It's like that. No, you don't start with that. And yeah, I put the power drill in. I marked it because I know how. The thing is, I know how. It just doesn't work out. So I marked it where I wanted it to go because you take measurements and stuff. Measurements taken, that's fine. I can do that. That's no problem. Marking it, putting the drill on, pressing the button, it goes zzz, and then it goes rums, which is German for boom or something like that. And half of it wasn't the wall, it was the plaster on the wall. Yeah, that came down. Yeah. So we needed to repair that. No shutters for me. In a very hot summer. And I had a leather couch as well in my room. And mind you, if you think I was young, I was 18 or 19 years old at that point. So I wasn't that young, you know? And yeah, I destroyed a wall. But tell me, what went wrong there? I put the drill there and I pressed the button. The drill has a button and the drill has a little button that changes it between going forwards and backwards. It was going forwards. I made sure of that. And I just pressed button. I couldn't have done anything different.
Yeah, the wall was probably damaged.
Yes, it was probably the wall. It was an old building. I do get it, but that's my first experience with the drill. That's not very motivating, right? Yeah. Back to the story. Eek, help. Oh, please, I don't want to sprout mushrooms. Oh, the demons. I named my Parasec Demonia. Not my Paras, not the Parasec. Parasec is fine. It's only Paras that's demonic. Yeah, I mean, rock slide. Why not?
Rain.
Huh?
Rain.
Oh, it's raining. It's raining rain. Hallelujah.
Maybe it cools down now.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's
Please.
27 degrees here.
How did they kill that giant iceberg? Oh, boy. Can you also kill Rock Dog? Rock Dog. Rock Dog. That has a nice ring to it. Why are they so strong? I mean, I guess they're level 50, but why are they so strong? I kind of love this. I have a complete newfound appreciation for Paras. It was a Pokemon I never really cared about, but it looks cute and it also kind of, I don't know, it's actually very well designed, right? I kind of appreciate it now, and thanks to this game, they can kill Rock Dog. Seriously. Also, what I don't like about this game, see the XP? My dead one My dead one didn't gain any XP, but he killed one. I get dying, not XP, that's typical RPG, but he killed one. Shouldn't he get at least some XP? Right?
Yeah.
And we're talking about Super Nintendo games where there's no XP even if a party member killed one. This is Switch. We are in a very different generation. Thank you. I swear I'd never survive here in history without you as a teammate. I came to patrol because I know some of the villagers come out here to hunt for mushrooms. While keeping an eye out for them, I ended up hunting around a bit myself for some finds. But the mushrooms ended up hunting me. I guess my brother is probably a mess worrying about me again, huh? But you're so good at battling. Probably even better suited to the security corps than I am. I should be my completely own corps, to be honest. I do everything. Maybe not cooking. But kinda also that. Okay, back to the story. That's the reason why I'm flying and not teleporting, to get a bit more story time in. So, what people like to tell me when it comes to craftsmanship stuff, that I just don't wanna learn it. It's just my mind doing it. Which is stupid, because I would like to get a nail into the wall. Because I hate to always have to wait for my wife to hang up something. I just wanna, if we plan to hang up something, if I have the time, I wanna do it. To get it over with, but, well, then again, the nail. Also, doing stuff with wood sounds awesome. I would like to model some swords or something from video games out of wood. That would be so cool to have. This was with my ex-girlfriend, so I don't have that sword, sadly. Because that was awesome. Her father made it for me. Or, well, for the cosplay we did, which is a bad cosplay. Sure, but doesn't matter. It was the sword Eisenmeteor from Haru from my favorite manga. That looked so cool. I would love to have this thing. But I can't do it myself. I also don't understand how he get the metallic look. He used aluminium foil for it. But it was so smooth, and how do you do that? Do you have any idea? I don't know. He probably glued it to the wood? But how do you get it so smooth without any kind of wrinkle? As you couldn't see, because that sword is quite huge, you could not see where the sheet changed as well. It was one piece of metal.
A roll of aluminium foil?
Yeah, but to go around you would need like 3 or 4 sheets at least. But you couldn't see that. I mean, getting to know how you can do that would be the easy part, but actually doing it... but yeah, we in school have worked with wood. I mean, guess I was like 12 or 13 or something, so probably would be better at it now, but not good enough to do that. And I might be able to learn it, but the time I would need to put into it is just too much. Right? That's also the case. I rather learn something that I learn quicker to get more skills, you know? But craftsmanship is just not my thing. And that goes for basically everything. Wood, stone, not mud. What do you call it? Pottery. That stuff used for pottery. Maybe pottery might work out. That might be... I think forming it with my hands directly, that might work out, actually. Thank you for saving Wanda yet again. I'm so glad we've got the Cervic Core to rely on. I was chilled to my marrow when I heard my sister was caught up in a Pokemon attack this time. If only she could just get herself assigned to patrolling the village for a while, nice and safe. Oh well. You'll be surprised when you see the conclusion to this storyline. So, traces of a lost village. No, I know where this is. Let's go with him. Yeah. Drawing is also one of these things. I can draw better than I could as a child. which means my drawings are not at the level of a 5-year-old child, but more like of an 8-year-old child. And drawing, I just went to the wrong camp. And drawing is something I really wanted to do. I got into anime and manga. I wanted to copy this stuff. I wanted to draw. And I drew so much when I was younger. So much. And did not improve at all. Well, a teensy tiny bit maybe. So I kind of gave that up. Around the time where I found out that, I can't draw. But I think I'm good at storytelling. I did find my I did find my passion of storytelling. So, yeah, that's something I'm good at. I thought the stories I wrote back then were bad, let me tell you, but I improved quite a lot and quite fast for that. And that's the key here. I saw that my improvement here was huge. So, yeah, that's my thing. Now, the problem with storytelling is important, but really overlooked, and you can't really... It's hard doing something with that, because people rather have stories in a manga way, or a comic way, or a movie or something. Books are still read, of course, but it's kind of hard nowadays. Especially with the types of stories I write, which would fit more into a manga. That would be hard to sell as a book. So we're at game design at this point. I'm not good at modeling or stuff, but I know how to... I don't know how to program, but I know how to... At least I think I know how to. But I'm pretty sure I'm good at game designing. Without ever having designed a game actually, but I'm on it. I know how to make a game work, that it's enjoyable, and I also, while I was never good at math, I kind of enjoy doing formulas and stuff. That's so interesting, doing a damage formula, balancing that so that it works out. That's so nice. But yeah, story time. Just the person I've been waiting for. My Keo wandered off to go play, but they haven't come back yet. Do you think you could help me find them? Do you mean Vulpix? Oh, I'm sorry. Back home in Alola, Vulpix were called Keo, you see. Wait a minute. He comes from Alola, right? Which is based on Hawaii. So if this is around the time where Hokkaido was still called Ezo, which was, I think, in the 18th century or something. And if we assume the Pokemon world is basically shaped like our world, would you be able to get from Hawaii to Japan? On ship? Not on the ship they used, though. They use those tiny boats. They don't use those on an ocean. Yeah, might be. It's hard to tell when this actually plays. How many years have passed since the modern times. So, yeah. Ken. Fun fact here. I don't know if this was intentional at all, but Ken is a word you can use in Japanese for dog. And a fox is a canine. So, a dog, basically. Might just be a coincidence, though. Oh, did you not go to play with the rest? This is what an Alolan Vulpix looks like. They blend right into the snow with their white fur. So trying to find them all just by myself would take ages. And I'm still missing 5 of them.
Oh.
What?
I wanted to check the distance from Japan to Hawaii.
Okay.
But there's no way to travel it, so it doesn't tell me how far it is.
What? There's no way to travel it?
Just not even flights?
But but with the with our Earth, there is no ring. You can get everywhere by boat. Well, to every shore at least, of course. So there needs to be a water passageway from Japan to Hawaii. A roundabout way, maybe. But it's not like in some video games where you have a ring of land you can't get out of with a boat. That's not in our world. So you have to be able to. There might be no ships sailing that way. But Google Maps probably can also swim, right?
I think then yes, but
I mean, it can show you the way from Europe to Asia on foot. Whoever wants to walk that. You should be able to find my Vulpix playing around the avalanche slopes. Could you find them all and tell them to come back?
it's about 6,000 kilometers.
6,000.
Yeah.
That's 6,000 more than one. I have no idea how long that is. Can you imagine how... I mean, I know that my way to school was about a kilometer. But you can rarely see a kilometer ahead, right? I mean, I did. If you're on the ocean, you can probably see several kilometers ahead, right? But the thing is, a kilometer ahead, that distance isn't really... You might be able to see that far, but you don't really compute how far that is. 1 or 10 kilometers ahead is basically kind of the same in your field of vision, right? It doesn't make much difference at that point. So it's hard to imagine 6,000. So we have to find the Keo. Also, there is maybe... Not this. This.
Yeah, it's about 7 times to Visma.
Oh, whoa. So it's about 6 to 7 times from the southern end of Germany to the northern end. Right? That's 6,000 kilometers. That doesn't sound so much, actually. Kinda. I mean, it's a 12 to 15 hour drive. So it would only need a couple of days, actually, to drive. That sounds quite manageable, actually. I have no idea where the KOK were. Oh, can we search for them? Wait. What does the quest say? It doesn't state that the bear will be able to find them. We'll try after we got those. But I also think they weren't that hard to find. Also, was there an unknown here? I have a feeling... it wasn't an unknown, but something else. We'll see. Might be a wisp or something behind a hut here. Yes, it was a wisp. Good. We found another wisp in that case. Nope, I won't. The only thing that might be hard if they are so close together that I couldn't mark them individually, but we only find one. If we use a guide.
I don't think they are that close.
I also don't remember that there were ones that close, yeah. Was there a trick to finding those foxes? I don't remember that it was hard to find them, to be honest. Maybe you can see a speech bubble from flying above. So you just have to check everything from flight mode. Huh. We will find them. We will find them. Hey. My cat is visiting me. He cuddles my leg. Wait. Back. We want to get that satchel first. I will never get used to this sound. You can't hear it very likely, but when he's sitting down on that box over there, it's making strange noises. But he likes to sit there like a little statue on a pedestal. Okay. Over there, apparently. There. Satchel found. Now that lost civilization thing is up there. I remember that. For some reason. Do we need the bear for it? Might be. Okay. I'm pretty sure it was here that... Do we have to do something before this? That might be the case. Well, I'm gonna ignore it for now. We did not find any... Can you give me a hint for finding them? Not the solution, but... I kind of feel like I'm missing something because, like I said, I remember that wasn't that hard. There's one, actually. Which we can just see from above. Okay. Let's get nice juicy XP. This is quite a lot higher than I am. Let's go with Earth Power.
It's all in the avalanche slopes area.
Oh, all here. Okay.
Yeah.
That's...
It's the greater area.
Yeah. I know.
Okay.
Yeah, that didn't work out. We're not strong enough for this.
Not
But
sure.
once you have a strong Pokemon, you can easily...
Tell you if you talk to him again? I
Hmm.
think you got some clues for it.
Yeah, right?
We didn't look this up, I'm pretty sure.
Shall we try defeating this one? No. We're
I'm
gonna
not
catch it.
sure which ones you got already.
Only that one.
Which one?
That we just found. On that... Damn it. Sauce. Oh no, oh no. I wanna get this item though.
On top of some cone-shaped hill thingy?
Yeah.
Like it
No.
No.
Where Chansey are.
Chance.
And one near Garchomp. Okay, I think I can find them.
Okay.
They're not that hard. I was thinking I could find them from the air.
Yeah, but
But
somehow the broader distance changed.
nah, it's also... I wasn't looking at the right place. Imagine getting a shiny here of this thing. Maybe I want to get the tiny one out of the way. Come on, Stan. Good. What are you doing? Please hold still. Can we distract it with food? I think that Pokemon is broken. It's a Brokemon. Why can't I? Okay, forget about that. That thing is broken. It, for some reason, doesn't work anymore. Yeah, I don't care about the tame spice, yeah. A tame spice distortion. That's the new Spice Girl. Tame spice. I think after finding these Vulpixes, I called it quits for today. We did a lot of things. My throat is getting a bit sore. But we progressed quite a lot. Okay, this was number 3. Ah, it tells me up there. There. Number 4. And one more remaining. Should be findable. No, I don't think it can be over here. We have looked over there, but for something different. Yeah, but it's not here. Huh.
What's the southernmost point you looked at?
Uh,
Down there somewhere. Okay. In that case, it's okay.
yeah.
Just wanted to make sure you're not stopping too early.
We found that one. There. Hello, little guy. Keon. I watched Keon. It was good.
Yeah.
At one point I lost interest though, because I know season 2 or so was just... It was just the same over and over in the end. Right. So... Thanks for helping me search for them. They're all back, safe and sound. Oh, this one seems to have taken a liking to you. If it's alright with you, could you take this little one with you? I'm certain it'll help with your survey work. You received Vulpix. The only one in the game, by the way. I wondered about that too. But no more other Vulpix. We'll be here at Snowfield's camp for a while. I'd love it if you'd stop by from time to time and show me how Vulpix is doing. Okay. Also, what I wanted to say, but I completely forgot before. Andy? Annie? What's wrong with you? Why are you dying so often? It's almost only you. Max is also dying a lot of times. Don't die that much. We have saved. And so, let's look for someone to raid. Who do we have?
Digital Hazard, Great Games Live, Macletta, Wood Witches, Stars Blue, Ghost Stalker.
Let's go with Great Games. He helps me out a lot. Always retweeting my stuff.
Let me check
If he's really streaming. If he's only hosting, yeah, we'll go with Digital Hazard then. Let's see. We'll check out. Also, how long does he stream already? Because is he like... Yeah. If he's like at 6 hours, he might stop soon.
No. An hour 50.
Yeah, let's do him then. That's fine. So, and you, yes, you're the best. Because you are checking out my links that are not in the chat right now to my Twitter and Instagram. You can also find them down there below the video somewhere. And to my YouTube. That link is in the chat. Because you're an awesome person. And awesome persons do this. I hope you enjoyed this stream as well. And have fun over at Great Games Live. And I'll see you tomorrow where we stream Mango Mischief. So until next time, bye-bye.